this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and this is one I've been wanting to do for a long time. Now, many of you guys know that I'm on a plant-based raw diet, which means I do not heat my foods. Although I don't recommend this for everyone, this is what I'm choosing to do at this time. But what I do recommend you to do is eat a plant-based diet. And if you are going to choose to eat meat, I encourage you to eat small amounts, less than 10% of calories. And that's about a fistful. And even animals in the wild don't eat meat every day, like a mountain lion. I mean, they're carnivores, right? They don't even eat meat every day. And Americans are eating meat 3 times a day in every meal, and that's far too much. We need to eat more plants. So in this episode, I have Dr. Jameth Sheridan, who's been doing this a long time and educates people about eating more plants and getting away from the stuff that's not so healthy for us. So in this episode, we're going to ask him the 5 reasons why you should eat more plants and chuck and ditch the meat. So Jameth, what is the number 1 reason you would suggest people eat more plants?
Okay, it's a lot of reasons, but it's hard to put which is number 1, but they're all important. But the first one I want to talk about is something that is plaguing America and the world, and that is heart disease. Animal products are inextricably linked with heart disease. And heart disease doesn't just happen. You don't just all of a sudden develop arteriosclerosis, clogging of the arteries in your body and to your heart, so you die of a heart attack, you die of a stroke. It doesn't just happen overnight. It happens slowly over decades. They get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner to the point where your arteries are so thin because there's so much plaquing from saturated fat and oxidized cholesterol, which you get from animal products, the number 1 thing that causes heart disease, that eventually you have a heart attack. And the first symptom of heart disease, you know what that is? The first symptom of heart disease.
You keel over, man.
You're dead. And when you're dead, now this sounds like fun, I'm not going to die, man, whatever. Well, that's what hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Americans say every year, I'm not going to die, and they're dead. And their families are losing that part of the family. They're losing their mother, their father, their daughter, their son, their uncle. It's a critical part of people's family, and it destroys people's lives. Heart disease and strokes. Arteriosclerotic disease, the number 1 reason to give up animal products, because they will kill you. It's the animal's revenge, some people say. You're going to eat us, you're going down, it's going to take a little longer, but we're going to kill you. Don't narrow your arteries. It's just bad. While you're narrowing your arteries, before you die of your heart attack, or before you have your stroke, and you can barely walk and move, and maybe you can use your right arm, and you can't work, and you can't do anything, and you can't have fun, you can't go out and move because you had a freaking stroke. You're either dead, or you're in a coma, or you wish you were dead because you barely function. Is that worth it? Is that fun? That sucks. Nobody wants that. And hundreds of thousands of Americans have that happen every year needlessly. Traditional medical doctors have proven that we don't need to consume meat, and when we do, it promotes heart disease.
So Jameth, if somebody's been eating meat up till this point, hopefully they're going to make some changes, or at least consumes considerably less, or eliminate it completely. I mean, can you reverse this with a plant-based diet?
Absolutely. It's been proven so many different times in clinical studies and epidemiological studies, both, that you can take arterial plaque that is 99% as big as it all over the body, and usually within a 2-year period, you can completely reverse it with a whole food plant-based diet. In this case, low fat, or some of the newer studies showing healthier fats like flax seeds, some flaxseed oil, things of that nature. It can completely melt. The body doesn't want to have this material in its arteries, but you keep feeding it, shoving it in. It's like we have nowhere to put this. We're not designed to have this running through our veins. We're not a carnivore. We don't have the claws. We don't have the teeth. We don't have the same digestive system as they do. We don't have the ability to remove that type of fat and cholesterol. We don't need cholesterol. Our livers make all we need. We're not designed for it. It's like running the wrong fuel in your car. You can get by for a while, but eventually the thing dies. And when you stop it, it's absolutely been proven, it completely reverses. So as bad as you are now, you can start right now reversing that trend and clearing your arteries.
Wow, that's really powerful. So Jameth, one of the things I heard, is that only animals make cholesterol, right? So like if you eat coconut oil, does that contain cholesterol? Any plant food have cholesterol in it?
There's no cholesterol in any plant food. It just simply doesn't occur. Coconut oil has saturated fat, but saturated fat doesn't always equal a rise in cholesterol. If you have saturated fat from an animal products have oxidants in them. They're free radicals. They create free radicals in your body, and it's oxidized cholesterol that damages your arteries and sticks to it. And if you're eating saturated fat with the animal product that has all the free radicals in there, all the oxidants, you're going to oxidize that saturated fat, you're going to oxidize that cholesterol, and it's going to stick to your arteries. Now, coconut oil has a tremendous amount of antioxidants in it. You don't find antioxidants in animal products. You find antioxidants in plant foods, of which coconut oil is a great one. Coconut oil, it's my experience that it raises the cholesterol a little bit in people, but it doesn't raise the cholesterol and it doesn't make it toxic because there's not oxidants with it. There's antioxidants with it. So that cholesterol that the coconut might raise for some people a little bit doesn't stick to your arteries. Nature built it in that way. So if someone thinks they need more cholesterol in their system, because cholesterol is a base for many hormones and other stuff, and they want to raise their cholesterol, which is really not a good idea, well, you can do that with vegetable foods too without oxidizing your arteries.
All right, great. So the question I have is, can literally plant foods make you immune from things like heart disease?
If you have a whole food plant-based diet, yes. If you do it right, yes. And even if you do it wrong, you're 80% better than not doing it at all. Even wrong, you're way better off. In fact, if you do it wrong, if it's a whole food plant-based diet, not a junk food plant-based, even a junk food plant-based diet makes giant shifts in people's health. If you want to be a junk food health food or a junk food plant-based eater, if you want to start there because it's a basis and you're still going to be way higher. And if you do then go to the point where you're eating any type of whole food plant diet, it's almost impossible to get heart disease.
Okay.
And your chances are dramatically lower. And up to the point where you may or may not get a disease, you're healthier all the way up until that point. You're living healthier now. You're experiencing life better right now. And that's valuable.
Wow. That's powerful. So that's number one. So, Jameth, number two, why should somebody eat more plants instead of the meat?
Number two is cancer. The more animal products you eat, the more cancer you have. And so many studies have shown this. The largest epidemiological study in the world was the China study, done relatively recent in history, and it showed in rural counties in China, about 65 counties, 6,500 people in these rural counties, same genetics, not different races and so forth, all Chinese people, and some ate more modern foods, some ate more rural foods. Some ate much higher quantities of animal products, others ate much less. And as they went down the spectrum, all the way down to 5%, only 5% animal products, they had less heart disease, less osteoporosis, less arthritis, and less cancer, exactly in correlation with how many animal products they ate. These people weren't even eating processed animal products. They're not eating GMO animal products. They're eating just like their goats, their cows, their chickens that they grew on their own farms there. Even then, and the lowest one we found was 5%. Now, they didn't find anybody that ate zero animal products there, but if you follow the graph with any logic, it went down, 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 down. So the most, and we didn't test zero because that wasn't in the study, so the most someone could argue from the largest epidemiological study in the world on diet and health is you could have 5% animal products in your diet. That's it. And we know from so much other evidence that that's not even good. That's as much that could be scientifically argued from that point. That's it. It's not an all or nothing. If you can't get down to 5% or 0% and you want to go from 50% animals to 40%, you're 10%, actually that's 20% of 50. You're way better. It's a continuum. You do the best you can in life. Nobody's perfect. Just make every step you can that's good. Third reason is diabetes. The more animal products you eat, the more diabetes you have. So many studies have shown that animal products make you insulin resistant. And there's another reason when we get down to leukocytosis later that we're going to talk about diabetes. Having diabetes sucks because you have to take insulin, your blood sugar's all over the place, your kidneys wear out faster, your eyes wear out faster, you live less long. It's no fun. I know so many people that never even thought of it. They're like, oh, I'm fine, I feel fine, blah, blah, blah. And they drop dead, or one day they're like, oh my God, I'm in a coma, or I went to the doctor, my blood sugar's several times what it should be. Now all of a sudden I have diabetes for life, and it ruined my life. Great. That's no fun. And you're doing it now, and right now you have a crystal ball to help prevent that. So take the crystal ball and don't have diabetes. It just sucks.
Wow. So how about number four? What's the number four reason?
Fourth reason why you shouldn't eat animal products is related to heart disease. Heart disease is plaquing of your arteries and veins and capillaries. You can't get blood flow through. Now, if you're a man, this is the reason for you. Is there any organ in your body that's modular, movable, that has blood flow that you can actually see under the skin some visible blood going into?
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
My male parts.
Your male parts, your male private parts. And erectile dysfunction is the number 4 reason you should have less or no animal products in your diet, because the same saturated fat and oxidized cholesterol that clogs your heart and your arteries clogs your arteries to your male parts, and then you have a problem having erection, which has relationship problems and just personal satisfaction, intimate times with your mate problem. And so you got to decide, what do you like better? Do you like making love with your spouse less than you like eating a burger? What's your choice? Tell your wife, yeah, sorry, honey, I'd love to have this intimate evening. I'd love to have this beautiful, wonderful experience with you. Or Or maybe we're just both horny tonight, whatever it happens to be, but I would rather eat a burger.
Because you can't get it up.
Because you can't get it up.
Wait, what about taking Viagra? Eat the burger and take Viagra and get it up.
Viagra will force you to get it up artificially with a drug and a stimulant, and then you can't get it down.
That would suck. I've had to go pee and I couldn't get it down. That sucks, man.
It's like, it's horrible. I know men that have that happen, and it's horrible. Some of them actually, when it gets bad enough, they actually have to inject their penis over a half an hour period before they have an intimate encounter with their spouse. And by then, they've kind of lost the mood. Wife's doing something else. It's all gone. Blah, blah, blah. It totally changes what should be a natural, beautiful, seamless experience between two people.
Wow.
And I don't know anything that's more precious than that.
Definitely agree, man. If you guys want to keep it up and keep it going all night, eat plants, man. So it's supposed to be a total of 5 reasons why it's better to eat plants than animals. And Jameth has 2 more bonus reasons that we're going to slip right in there.
2 bonus reasons, just for watching. First bonus reason is animal products don't have any fiber in them. Fiber is the part of the cell wall of the plant, and it's designed to absorb bile, the liver's excretory products. It's designed to absorb water and everything else that goes into your colon, gets dumped in your colon, and bulk up, absorb water, and push and move things through. That's what its function is. Otherwise, you are literally eating your feces. If you're constipated, you're eating your feces because it's absorbing right through you. Feces at some point have toxicity, but they're supposed to have a toxicity when they're breaking down in a compost pile, not your body. So if you're eating meat, you're eating your compost. You're eating your shit, literally.
Wow.
And there's no fiber in meat, and not only is there no fiber, because there's no fiber in water, but water doesn't clog you up, juice doesn't clog you up. Meat has substance that sticks and clogs your arteries, and also it clogs your intestinal tract. So you just need fiber in almost everything that's not liquid. You need fiber in the food, otherwise you're just going to be sick. And you're going to have gastrointestinal issues, you have more gas, your feces will have a much stronger odor, it'll be harder to come out, you need more toilet paper. Fiber is absolutely awesome and it's natural. You should be having a bowel movement 3 times a day of usually the same day. You got to have one of the meals that you ate today come out today, not 5 days ago. It's got to be in the same day.
Yeah, don't be constipated.
Correct. Okay, other bonus is phytonutrients. They're called phytochemicals, and these have been studied. There's hundreds and thousands of these, and they've done everything from inhibit cancer cells to inhibit viruses to be incredible antioxidants, to help with diabetes, to help with kidneys, to help with livers, every part of the body. They've shown that various phytochemicals dramatically, magically help to heal. You only find phytochemicals and phytonutrients in whole plant foods. You don't find them in animal products. Animal products don't have them.
But Jameth, what about people eat animal products as a man? I'm a man, I need the protein to be strong. Am I going to be a wimpy vegetarian or what? I'm getting all these the phytonutrients, which are really good because I promote phytonutrients a lot. They're super beneficial. But what about the protein for the masculine guys that are worried about becoming sissies?
Okay, people still say that. Now, I've been a buff vegan for a long time because I like working out, I like being manly and going for it, and I also like to show people, look, where do you get your protein? I'm buff, I'm muscular. Now, legumes have more protein than animal products in it. If you want to have a lot of protein, just eat the legume family. Soak them and then cook them, it'll be way digestible, or sprout them and then cook them, they're unbelievably digestible. More protein than an animal product. Except legume and other vegetable proteins don't form large amounts of uric acid. And uric acid contributes to osteoporosis, arthritis, gout, and aging in general. And you can have it in plant proteins, such as the legumes. And legumes also have fiber in it, and they also have phytonutrients. You can get as much or more protein. And if you want, do it professional bodybuilders and go and take a protein supplement. You can take brown rice-based protein supplements. You can take algae-based protein supplements, of which my company is the only one that has one, called Elite Green Protein and Green Sage Protein. It's easy to do that. And there's tons of vegan athletes. Dave Scott won the Ironman triathlon in Hawaii 7 times. The only guy to win it more than twice. And he won it 7. He was a vegan. So is he a wimp? Well, you can see, he's kind of skinny. He's just an endurance athlete. Okay, well, we got the endurance thing covered. Okay, Dave Scott kicked everybody's ass. He's a vegan. We're there. But then you can say, what about manly, tough, fighting skills? Let's get to the most gruesome, bloody, aggressive sport you can possibly imagine in today's day. What is that? That's MMA, mixed martial arts fighting. These guys are tough, badass dudes, and they'll kick your ass. Break your arm, break your nose, make you bleed, break your bones. And in 2007, Matt Danzig, as a vegan, he won the whole championship in his weight class. As a vegan, he kicked all the non-vegans' asses. And a lot of the MMA fighters are working actually with my company and other organizations going vegan not even telling their competitors, not because they think it's good for the environment or because they think it's good for their health, because I've got an opponent over there who's eating meat, and I want to kick his ass when I get in the ring with him, so I'm going to go vegan, because I'm going to have more strength, more endurance, more stamina. I'm going to be able to kick his ass. They're doing it just for that reason, and they're winning. And Manny Pacquiao is considered to be the best boxer of all time. 7 years he didn't lose. And just last year, he lost, for the first time in 7 years, to a vegan boxer guy.
Wow.
The only guy that beat Manny Pacquiao was a vegan. So are vegans wimps? Are vegans sissies? Absolutely not.
Nope.
In fact, it looks like the vegans, all other factors being equal, are kicking the non-vegan's ass. So if you want to get your ass kicked, then don't be a vegan. And if you want to kick someone's ass, be the vegan. And also, if you're a vegan, you want to be compassionate and stuff, you can prevent people from kicking other people's asses. That's the better way.
Wow. So yeah, definitely agree with the phytochemicals and phytonutrients. So Jameth, what do you think is more important? Eating more protein or eating more phytochemicals and phytonutrients?
Absolutely, eating more phytonutrients is far more important than eating more protein. The amount of protein that people think they need is based on such false data. It's based on what the average person eats, which actually gives you toxicity. Too much protein, specifically too much animal protein. We know that animal protein contributes to cancer, arthritis, osteoporosis, and gout, and so many other diseases, which we're going to talk about in our last point, leukocytosis. But we also know that vegetable protein, even in the same quantity, does not contribute to any of those diseases. It's a different animal, so to speak. It's totally different. It's safe. It's balanced. It's very difficult to overdo. And for most people, not having enough protein in their diet is very difficult, unless you're a fruitarian. If you're a fruitarian, it's easy to run out of protein, in my experience. But unless you're not on some ridiculous fruitarian diet, not that all fruitarian diets are ridiculous, but in my experience, most people do not do well on a fruitarian diet. Or on some like 500 calorie diet where you're deficient in calories and protein and everything else. If you're eating enough food to meet your caloric needs, for the most people, you're already sufficient in protein, even if you're just eating whole grains and things like that. If you need more protein, eat the legume family. Have nuts and seeds. It's so easy to up your protein. It's a piece of cake. It's not an issue unless you're just eating white bread all the time. And who does that? If you were on an island with a cow, would you eat the cow? It's like one of those crazy questions. Well, go ahead. If you're on an island with a cow, eat the cow. But that's not what we're talking about here. Go ahead and try to eat that cow. See if you can dig into it with your claws and so forth. See how natural that is.
Wow. So what's the last reason, the final reason, the most important reason, in my opinion, to eat plants instead of meats, Jameth?
Here's the most important reason. This is research I've done over the past couple years. And most people don't know this. The regular medical profession doesn't know this. It knows it halfway, but it doesn't bring the pieces together. If someone is, I should say, unfortunate enough and also fortunate enough to have to and also then receive an organ transplant operation. I mean, they're unfortunate, they've lost their kidney. They're fortunate enough they can get someone else's kidney so they can stay alive. Whether it's your kidney, whether it's your heart, whether it's the liver, you have to be on immunosuppressive drugs the rest of your life. Because when you take, John, we killed John right now.
No!
Killed him up here, we saved his kidney, we cut his kidneys out.
That'd be a healthy kidney.
And we put the kidney in me. All of a sudden, what's going to happen is my body is going to say, whoa, back, let's put the brakes on. That you just put in you, Jameth, is not Jameth. I recognize the protein signature as foreign to my personal DNA that my body is perfectly designed to protect and support. Because it's like, I am your humble and honored servant, Jameth. I will make sure that you are you. If anything comes in, bacteria, virus, parasite, toxin, other stuff, I'm going to get rid of it. You are not me. And it recognizes your kidney as not mine. And this happens with anybody, so the only way I can keep that kidney alive, even though it's actually keeping me alive, the only way I let my body keep it alive, because it says it's not me, is if I take immunosuppressive drugs the rest of my life and suppress my immune system. Otherwise, my immune system will be strong enough to attack that, because it's not me.
Wow.
And that's called leukocytosis. Your body's white blood cell count raises to several times its normal level, just as if you were poisoned. Huge. Now, when else does leukocytosis occur? Let's remember, it happens when you get a foreign protein of animal nature in your body.
So this doesn't happen with plants?
It does not happen with any plants. There was some initial information from the 30s from Paul Kukuchov, MD, who talked about this occurring with cooked foods.
Right. No
one knows exactly what it did or what his research was, and when I've done this research model, I've repeated it many times, and there's one other group that did this too after me. I found that I could not induce leukocytosis with even junk food plant foods. Wow. I was unable to. I now haven't tested GMOs. I bet that would do it. But regular processed vegan junk foods, I could not induce leukocytosis. I induced high triglycerides, high insulin, high other stuff because I had really sugary things, a bunch of things, but not white blood cell count raising.
Wow.
But what I did find that raised white blood cell count every single time was animal protein, cooked or raw. Just like the organ transplant animal protein, different DNA signature coming in, when you have the protein DNA signature of another animal, another creature in your body, it recognizes it as not you. And it attacks it, and leukocytosis happens. And it's incredibly immune destructive. It's immune suppressive and immune reacting in a bad way every single time you eat animal product, because the body says it's not you, I've got to kill you, and I've got to get rid of it.
Wow.
And it contributes to every disease known to man. It contributes to aging because you're attacking yourself, because it is attacking you, and it's got to go.
Wow.
It's the number one reason not to eat meat, because it's poisonous. It's somewhat poisonous. And I'm talking even free-range, organic, everything. Certainly free-range, organically fed, if you're kind to your animals when they're still alive before you slaughter them, let all the blood out of them, that's less bad. Then you're not going to have as many pesticides, as many other things, as many bad things in there, but you're still going to have leukocytosis. And the Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, and some of their mummies, and it was only the rich pharaohs and the aristocratic class that ate animal products for the most part there, they were eating the most pure animals you can imagine. We hadn't even invented chemicals yet. It's thousands of years later we invented chemicals. Some of those mummies have arterial plaque in them.
Wow.
It's left over. It's dried in the sarcophagus. So clearly this stuff is still going to create heart disease, still going to create cancer, still going to create diabetes, still going to create erectile dysfunction. Regardless of how, quote, pure it is, you're still going to get leukocytosis, and it's a bad idea. It's the worst thing about eating meat. Not that we need more.
Wow. Wow. So for these reasons, I encourage you to eliminate or minimally decrease significantly your animal consumption. As you just learned, there's so many reasons why it's not so healthy for you. And Jameth, are there any reasons why somebody should eat an animal that they need to in this day and age?
No. If you design a diet, you do something stupid like you hardly eat any food, you eat all fruit, you eat all sugar, I'm doing a protein thing here.
All right.
Then you could set yourself up to need animal products like, I'm just going to eat no calories, I'm just going to eat fruit, I'm just going to eat almost nothing, I'm going to try to eat just white bread my whole life. And if you're just eating white bread, you're going to be deficient in lots of things. So if you just eat white bread, if you added a piece of flesh here and there, you actually would increase your nutritional content. But that's like if you're a cow on an island. If you just had white bread, would meat help you? A little bit would help you, yeah. But what would help you? Tofu, tempeh, soybeans, legumes, brown rice, millet, quinoa, amaranth. I mean, there's a million other foods you can eat. They're going to be way better than that. And that's like this fantasy scenario. So there's no nutritional reason that anyone needs to eat meat. Absolutely not. Everybody has a slightly different physiology, but it can all be solved and dealt with optimally with the plant-based paradigm completely. And I just want to talk about protein. I'm a weekend warrior. I don't work out all the time because I have to work and I have a job. But I'm buff. I've been vegan for about 26 years. And I'm still super buff. And by this point, I would be not buff. I'd be totally depleted. And there's tons of guys that are like working out all the time. They're huge, massive, powerful vegans. You can totally do it. It's easy. It's actually, you get a better quality of muscle. My experience with high meat consumption, high animal protein consumption versus vegan, and if you want to go higher protein vegan, that's easy to do. Muscle building. Here's my observation. And research and athletes will bear this out. If you have the meat diet, you will have a slightly bigger muscle, slightly, noticeable but slightly bigger muscle than on the vegan diet. But the vegan muscle will be much stronger and have much more endurance than that slightly bigger muscle on the meat diet. Absolutely my experience. So if you want to get that slight edge and look a little bit bigger and a little bit actually bluggy or a little bit less veins, a little less defined, you have more of the animal products, which actually has more creatine and other stuff that's bad for your kidneys, and it kind of bloats you up. But if you want to be stronger, leaner, and meaner with a slightly smaller muscle size, I'm talking like 10-15% max, maybe 10. But stronger and more endurance and healthier, then go vegan.
Wow. So you heard it from Dr. Jameth Sheridan that you don't need to eat any meat. You could eat plants instead and be truly buff like he is and kick some ass like MMA fighters and other people out there. You know, I got into the plant-based diet for my health, and that's what I found is the best way for me to eat. I mean, I had spinal meningitis, which was caused by complement immune deficiency, which the doctor said was caused by basically defective genes, but I learned that through a plant-based, high nutrient dense diet, I could change all that so that I could be healthier as ever, and I want that for you as well. So Jameth, if somebody wants to learn more about you and your work, how can they learn more about you? You seem pretty passionate about what you're doing.
My company is called Health Force, and you can go to healthforce.com to find out about more me. the superfood immune support products that I have for smoothies and other things, juices for also you can go to warriorforce.com if you're looking for specific athletic enhancement performance, not junk food athletic supplements. We'll talk about whole foods, superfoods, and herbs that fuse alternative medicine with athletic performance. And a lot of professional athletes, including MMA fighters, are taking that material, but it doesn't hurt their health. And you'll be able to find information more there about the other stuff I'm doing in the upcoming book I've got talking about this.
All right, excellent, Jameth. So the last question I got for you, Jameth, is, if somebody wants to just go plant-based, do they really need all the products you sell to be healthy?
The products that I sell are probably the second most important thing you can ever put in your mouth. The first most important thing you can put in your mouth is the food you eat. Unless you want to take my products, Vitamin Earth, Vitamin Green, Friendly Fast Chlorella and stuff, unless you want to just eat that. And actually, you could just eat that if you bought 36 bottles a month or something like that. You could actually thrive really awesomely on that. But you're not going to do that. So that's why it's less important. The most important thing is the bulk of what you can do, which is the food. That is the number one important thing. The second is the herbs and superfoods that I have. But if you're eating garbage food, I have a lot of things to help you transition and help you detox and do damage control for the disaster you're causing to your body and help to bridge that gap in the middle. So the worse you eat, the more you need these herbs and superfoods to help upgrade you to the next level.
I mean, that's a whole nother episode in itself, Jameth. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode learning more about eating plants instead of meats, and I encourage you once again to lower your animal consumption or eliminate it. And once again, even a 10% decrease in animal consumption is a great thing. I want to encourage you guys to just completely eliminate it and do it smart. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode today. Once again, my name is John Kohler with OKRod.com. We'll see you next time. And remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're the best.